Hi there. Hope the lighting's all right here. It's quite bright outside. Uh, but there, we're going to crack on with Bible Break, our weekly Bible break. And we've got to Genesis 31, where it's the moment of separation, really, for Jacob from his uncle, Laban, who's been leading him a merry dance, as we've seen. So Jacob flees from Laban is the subheading in my NIV. And we're going to read Genesis chapter 31, verses 1 to 21. Okay, here we go. Jacob heard that Laban's sons were saying, Jacob has taken everything our father owned and has gained all this wealth from what belonged to our father. And Jacob noticed that Laban's attitude towards him was not what it had been. Then the Lord, I noticed that the light's going to be funny, but don't worry, let's just crack on. Then the Lord said to Jacob, go back to the land of your fathers and to your relatives, and I will be with you. So Jacob sent word to Rachel and Leah to come out to the fields where his flocks were. He said to them, I see that your father's attitude towards me is not what it was before. But the God of my father has been with me. You know that I've worked for your father with all my strength. Yet your father has cheated me by changing my wages 10 times. However, God has not allowed him to harm me. If he said, the speckled ones will be your wages, then all the flocks gave birth to speckled young. And if he said, the streaked ones will be your wages, then all the flocks bore streaked young. So God has taken away your father's livestock and has given them to me. In the breeding season, I once had a dream in which I looked up and saw that the male goats mating with the flock were streaked, speckled, or spotted. The angel of God said to me in the dream, Jacob, I answered, here I am. And he said, look up and see that all the male goats mating with the flock are streaked, speckled, or spotted. For I have seen all that Laban has been doing to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar and where you made a vow to me. Now leave this land at once and go back to your native land. Then Rachel and Leah replied, do we still have any share in the inheritance of our father's estate? Does he not regard us as foreigners? Not only has he sold us, but he has used up what was paid for us. Surely all the wealth that God took away from our father belongs to us and our children. So do whatever God has told you. Then Jacob put his children and his wives on camels, and he drove all his livestock ahead of him, along with all the goods he had accumulated in Paddan Aram, to go to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. When Laban had gone to shear his sheep, Rachel stole her father's household goods. Household goods. What? White goods. Household gods. Moreover, Jacob deceived Laban the Aramean by not telling him he was running away. So he fled with all he had, and crossing the river, he headed for the hill country of Gilead. Well, I don't know about deceit. There's a bit of an oxymoron there, I think. I don't know about deceit. Obviously, you don't tell somebody if you're running away from them. You don't go, oh, yeah, I'm about to run away from you now, all right? But obviously, that was what that's what it had come to. Jacob felt that he had to make a clean break now from Laban, and that there wasn't any question of being able to negotiate or, do it non-abruptly. Because Laban was the master of gradualism. But that's where we've got to. As you will have seen there, the new element here in our story, or in the story, is Jacob is observant. He observes people, his uncle and his family, and he observes what God tells him to look at, as in the dream with the sheep, with the flock. But what he observes in his with his in-laws, let's call them, is that they're not so happy with him anymore. They're not as happy with his being there and being amongst them as they were before, which is not to say that they would want to let him go or that they would let him go, but they can clearly see that he is succeeding now at the expense of Laban himself. And this is what Jacob says to his wives. He says, you know, I've worked for your father with all my strength. I'm the one who's added value around here. I'm the one who's done the job. I've done it well, and I've also done it in an inspired way because of the way that God has helped me. And, you know, your father might be a clever chap. It's actually very shifty and very manipulative. Jacob says as much. He said, but you know how your father has used me. And he's changed my wages 10 times. And if it wasn't for the fact that God didn't let him get away with all his, you know, shiftiness, you know, then I wouldn't have got anywhere. But as it is, the God of my father, the God who met with me at Bethel, my God, has protected me and has inspired me and has helped me so that your father, my uncle, your father, Laban, could not get away with blue murder, as far as I was concerned. And as Jacob is spelling all this out to his wives, they themselves say, well, yeah, we can see that. We know what happened in the beginning when he tricked you over Leah instead of me and effectively sold the pair of us. All right, let's not go too far. The dowry that you were expected to pay for us was those years of service which you have now given to him. But have we seen any benefit from that for ourselves? No, he's just eaten it all up himself. So basically, you are the one, Jacob, we know and we recognize was added value to this business and this farm. You were the farmer, and unfortunately, Daddy is the grifter, the parasite, the shark. Yes. Originally, of course, we know that the flock was his, but you're the one who's been doing all the work, and he's the one who's been trying to take you for a ride. He even looks down his nose at us now and treats us as foreigners because he himself is jealous of you. Where with you, Jacob? Where with you and your God? Where with you? We're ready to go with you. Now, I don't know whether it's as a sort of parting act of spite. It's a pretty risky and dangerous thing to do, it seems to me. But Rachel, for some reason, maybe it's to weaken her father in some way. I don't know. Get back at him for the way that she feels and they feel that he has treated them. But she steals his household gods. That bit I got wrong. His household goods, his household gods. They called, I think it's Teraphim or Nephilim. But anyway, they're these little statues that he had representing his gods. And they're idols. You know, obviously they are idols. Jacob is the one who has been met by and is being accompanied by and who is serving the one true living God. And Laban is attached to these idols, it seems. So, like I say, for reasons beyond me, because I don't think that Rachel by now was as attached to them as her father, because she seems to be very much on Jacob's side and of Jacob's view of things. But nevertheless, for a reason which does escape me somewhat at the moment, I can only surmise, she decides to take her father's gods. And we're going to see how this pans out as we get to the end of the story of Jacob and Laban. But Jacob is going to have to go back now and find himself in the no man's land once again, this time between the uncle who he has left and who's not too happy perhaps with the way he left at least, or with the fact that he's left, and back to his brother who he hopes by now will have cooled down. But there it is. Who adds value in life? Who has added value in this situation? Is it the farmer? Is it the one who produces to benefit the business and who wants to see, obviously and quite naturally, some good return for himself? Or is it the one, i.e. Laban, who has done precious little except to seek to take advantage at every turn in the river, as it were, seek to profit from others and just basically milk every situation, the situation itself, for all that it's worth, without actually, contributing anything of any real value himself. That's the question that we have to sort of ask ourselves of this, in terms of this contrast between Jacob, who is now breaking free at last from his uncle, and his uncle himself, who is just basically has gone sour on Jacob, whilst at the same time doesn't seem to have anything in hand himself to make things better for himself, let alone for anybody else. Okay, we'll see how that all pans out next time around, and I'll see you then. Bye.